Alright, my homies, let's head into second game. This one is way more exciting. Like every game here is exciting. Let's be honest, every game here is exciting because every game matters and every game can go either way. World Elite versus Team Solo Mid. This is going to be a clutch game because both teams need points. Both teams need points and they cannot rely on anything happening. There's no Fenerbahce. There's no Pain Gaming. There's no wild card here. There's free pickup points, and every game freaking matters. Like Flash Wolves is still a powerful team. They almost beat Misfits in the previous game, and let's head to it. We just gotta check what happens. Let's just head into pick and ban and let's just watch it. I'm super excited, and I've done everything I can to just freaking avoid any spoilers. And we will see. This was, oof, look at the game time. It's going to be a quick one, boys. Holy moly. That's exciting already. Like, who stumps who? My guess is World Elite stumps TSM because they are better at stomping. Like TSM have had very long game times when it comes to their victories, and they've been very inactive and slow. Tristana is a ban targeted against Doublelift. I like it because the only success TSM have had are in the games that Tristana just is very strong in late game. So let's see. Rakan ban, which puts him in a scenario where Lulu is quite strong. I think Janna first pick could also be an option. Like if Janna is first pick for World Elite, then picking Xayah for TSM is less attractive, and then they can land the Xayah Janna lane, which should be able to push anything in the game. And then TSM would most likely respond with Lulu Kog'Maw. Gragas is a ban. Kog'Maw is banned for TSM. I feel like World Elite have to first pick Janna here. Have to first pick Janna. There's no Lulu Kog'Maw. First pick Janna. Very easy. I think TSM fucked up. I think they fucked up big time. Kog'Maw ban is really, really bad here. Let's see now if TSM are willing to pick Xayah without the Janna. I don't think it's that good. I like the Rakan ban from Team World Elite, which put them in a scenario where they can first pick without the support and be happy with it. Sure, TSM get the Jarvan as a trade-off, but the Janna is very happy to disengage this. Jarvan Sejuani, that might be like a very interesting approach. The main problem now for TSM is that they will have to pick AD or support later, and that can put them in a very horrible position. But picking Twitch against Janna and Xayah, now we know who got stomped. We know who got stomped already. We know who got stomped. Twitch against Xayah Janna. Caitlyn? No, pick Xayah, dude. Pick Xayah, man. Look, they're laughing. They're laughing because they know. They're laughing because they know. What? What? Yeah, okay. Give your enemy a chance, Give your enemy a chance. I think Xayah is the obvious option. Caitlyn will accomplish similar things to Xayah in lane. Like, of course, Caitlyn will push. The big difference here for Caitlyn is that she can get out of Jarvan's ultimate, right? So, sure, it's okay. But Xayah is so much better. I would love to just see a Xayah here, and I would be so happy. But, either way, Caitlyn is also fine. It's less exciting. I feel like, with Janna, the biggest difference is Janna can peel the Jarvan, and on top of that, Xayah has these abilities that can punish the Jarvan big time for EQing in and ulting in. She has these roots and this massive amount of damage with the feathers that are so effective when the enemy is running into you. That's why I think Xayah is so much better. The rest of the world thinks Xayah is so much better. But, Caitlyn still works and it applies the same thing. All of a sudden, I'm not as confident that TSM are getting stumped. But, World Elite should still have this massive priority from bot lane. Syndra ban. Trundle's still in the game. Jace is still in the game. Lucian is out. Lucian is a big pick for the Chinese teams. They are afraid of running into that Rumble composition with Sejuani and Lucian. Understandable. TSM, not sure why they don't pick their mid lane. I'm not sure why they don't pick mid lane here. I find it quite shocking. I feel like they should just last pick top, keep the Jarvan flex to last, and be happy with it. Whoa, World Elite. World Elite with the Jace blind pick. You know, all things considered, I feel, ooh, TSM, they can pick like Cassiopeia or Ryze into this. LeBlanc works too, but I think Jace is happy playing into LeBlanc. Hex Drinker City. Yeah, Ryze is a lot better. I don't think LeBlanc is good. Okay, so let's assess the draft, right? Let's just take a step back here. We know the Ryze is the last pick. Okay, so right now, you know, World Elite's composition is very early game oriented with the reliance of Caitlyn scaling. Jace is pretty strong early, Rumble as well in the early game fights. And then they have priority in bot lane. Ryze is one of the better champs into Jace, I would say. It's like Ryze is fine in this matchup. Twitch and Lulu scale well into the game. They're going to get pushed in bottom, and then I'm not too sure about how Rumble and Cho'Gath works, but you know, I think early Rumble should push, or he shouldn't be pushing that hard. He should like be able to harass the Cho'Gath, and Cho'Gath is probably the tank that is the best against Rumble, because Cho'Gath has all the CC, and you can just line up a gank on Rumble, and also on top of that, he regens a lot of health. He regens a lot of health, and he's not getting like collateral barbecued to death. So Rumble's pushing power has been nerfed. So I think you know, Rumble should definitely have pressure early on, but as soon as this Cho'Gath is itemizing like adaptive helmet and all this jazz, then I don't think Rumble is gonna do just as hot. And then like the Leandris Torment is going to shift the matchup in favor for Rumble again. And then I feel like with another item, Cho'Gath is going to be unkillable once again. They're both going to just push their lanes and ignore each other. And then again with Void Staff on Rumble, I feel like he's going to be able to push the Cho'Gath once again. So I feel like there's going to be a bit of a back and forth. I feel like with Mercury, I mean, not Mercs, but Spectre's Cowl, I feel like Cho'Gath should definitely be stronger in the matchup. But we will see. World Elite have a heavy early game composition, and TSM scale very well here. They have the Jarvan for the engage, but World Elite do have picks that can get out of the Jarvan ultimate quite easy. It's the Rumble that will be a target for Jarvan. It will be interesting to see where the junglers start. We see 3 heals now on World Elite. It's not that great if they're gonna run 3 heals. We see Mystic heal, Ben with a heal, Xayah, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Bad on me. Let's see now if they have triple heal. Sincerely doubt it. Oh, duck. Quack. Alright, he switched to barrier. Heal in mid lane though, so there's no cleanse on him. I don't think he should run cleanse against only Ryze and Cho'Gath that have the hard CC. I guess Lulu W is also something you can cleanse, but not too fancy, you know. Most Lulus just W their ADs because it's OP. Okay, let's continue. Just curious about the jungle stats now for both junglers. I've been waiting for this all year. It's time to redeem ourselves. Alright. You've been waiting for this all year. Maybe the pressure will get to you, son. Maybe the pressure will get to you. Isn't that the thing for every year with the TSM roster, that they're waiting for that final day of group stage to see how it goes down for them? We will win. Alright. That is filled with information. That is a very great tweet. Win, win, win. That's all I see us doing today. Confident. Confident. It can happen, you know, definitely can happen. I feel like it can go either way. Flash was completely out of contention, right, for any slot. And with that in mind, it's a crazy world we're living in. Flash Wolves are completely out of getting out of group stage. You know, they are just out of contention, so maybe they won't care about their games anymore. But obviously, these games matter so much. All right. So speaking about the jungle paths, we see Konzi. He did the puppy pathing, where he did blue into puppies, into red buff, into both side river. Svenskeren did more of a fuller clear, where he has done one camp more. If you consider a camp being more valuable than crab, Kondi gets the crab, and you know, they're both starting their 5th camp in theory here. The main thing here is that Kondi spotted Jarvan being very low, so Kondi could get priority onto topside crab too, and then he could create a small advantage for himself. And then maybe he can line himself up to invade the enemy raptors, because he knows now that Svenskeren did them at a specific time, and the raptors should be up at around 4:30. Jarvan is doing a full clear here, and you can see that Choga is in fact still pushing top lane, and maybe the play should have been for Svenskeren that he starts bottom, gets a leash, and then plays into top side and lines up an early gank for Rumble, because it seems like his wave management up top is not the greatest. I feel like if maybe he was here 1 minute before, maybe he could have punished this slow pushing Rumble. But now with the Jarvan pathing, he did a full clear. Jarvan doesn't have the healthiest clear. He just went for the base, and Sejuani is doing the same after securing the topside crab, as we predicted, because Sejuani knows that Jarvan was in fact very low. So Jarvan is going towards his raptor camp. I don't know if Sejuani will be here in time. Sejuani seems to just go for the safer play, but to be honest, her flash wolves, her wolves are the first camp that spawns. Didn't even go for them. Doesn't care. Seems like the call was like, yeah, I need to base as a mid laner here and get my armor penetration, so I'm just gonna go home. I don't want to do any invasive maneuvers. And on top of that, you know, it's not like that's super confident that Jace and Sejuani beat the enemy team in a 2v2. Xayah is in mid lane now, and he's gonna push in the wave. Bjergsen is gonna lose a couple of CS. It depends if it's cannon wave or not. I'm not completely sure. Is the cannon wave in mid? Is the next wave cannon? I don't think so. It's 5:30. Okay, Mystic with the E and the heal from Ben. Decent gank, you know. Doesn't lose too much because he would be spotted doing his grump anyway. So the information is not that valuable, and he just burnt a flash for minimum loss. Jarvan is now visible the entire time, and the main thing here with Jarvan's clear, it's a bit more gold efficient, because he started Raptors, and he did Raptors already, and they're gonna spawn. The next rotation of Raptors is gonna spawn earlier, right? And in the long run, it's going to even out. But in the moment when he clears his Raptor, he's slightly ahead in tempo. Kondi is being wild. I feel like TSM's bot lane is hanging on there tight. Fervor on double lift. Whoa. World Elite. Double lift just sneaks by him, and it looked way more dangerous than it was. Like, holy shit, look at that. The circle almost touched Mystic, and then they would have spotted double lift, but double lift managed to sneak by. It looked a lot more dangerous than it was, but World Elite just get out with no issues. Now, the main thing here is that Svenskeren wasting time bottom together with Sejuani kind of puts World Elite in a position where both jungle camps are open, and World Elite having this pushing bottom is going to allow them to pressure into mid lane. I mean, pressure into this blue buff. Bifrost is all of a sudden taking more damage. He doesn't have any potions left. Xayah is also just roaming into here, and his EQs are going to be very effective here under the turret, and maybe we'll see a siege situation commence. But Ryze already did the full rotation, so we have a 4v4 situation. Ben has also taken a lot of damage. He's using a refillable potion, so he doesn't have that third potion that could be very useful by now. The E from Sejuani. Oh, alright. E from Sejuani does a lot of damage on single targets, and the E into Smite secures them the blue buff. Wasn't like super convincing World Elite's position here, but ends up fine. going to be interesting to see here if TSM are just gonna try to lane swap, create something of that kind. The main problem with that is that if they lane swap, they are doing it towards a Rumble, and Rumble is just gonna barbecue the wave, and then, you know, he's just gonna flop his wings away. Sejuani committing to the bottom play. Good response here from TSM that they're trying to just equalize it, knowing that Sejuani needs to go into base. But TSM are being quite scared here, quite scared. Alright. Maybe the reasoning is that they don't know where the enemy bot lane is. The enemy bot lane is in base and Janna is moving towards it. Maybe in a scenario where it didn't reset, maybe they could have actually taken it. But after that, they're just wasting too much time. Like if it didn't reset here, I feel like they could just smite at it, eaten it, and then it would have been like very free. But after the reset, they don't know where the enemy bot lane is. They don't know about anything. But I thought it was quite cheeky because they knew Sejuani wants to base and do her bot side camps, and they just tried to pick it up. But I think the mistake here is that just that it resets. Without the reset, it wouldn't take much time, and Hans is just pulling it a bit too far. Sad days, sad days. After that, Sejuani is in position, and Robin Lult is also very powerful in this kind of area. We can also take a look at top lane situation, and Choga is quite ahead in CS, which is a big deal. It kind of spells out how the matchup is going, and seems to be in favor of Choga. Doesn't seem like Rumble had the greatest bases, you know, sure. But he didn't finish any haunting guys and those spell penetration items just yet. And spell penetration is still going to be less effective against the Spectre's Cowl buy that Haunter is hopefully going for. There it is, Spectre's Cowl. Rift Herald spawning in 10 seconds. TSM's bot lane is hanging on here quite well. And the lack of action here from World Elite is kind of worrying in that sense. You know, I feel like TSM's lanes are all in a healthy, good state. And you have to question the Jace mid lane a little bit. But, you know, if they really wanted to play this Rumble blind, and Rumble Jace is a powerful combo that spikes very hard at maybe like 15 minutes with the U moves and spell penetration. So we can still wait for that first initial fight. But if TSM, like if they have to give up like a Rift Herald for it and just scale into the game, I don't think they should be too unhappy. But we just have to think about who is willing to cut their losses more. Okay. TSM with sees disadvantage bottom, but this is to be expected. I think it's I'm curious about the turret health bottom, because that is like a massive objective as well for World Elite. Conde is just doing the same over and over. He's just trying to find an angle. He's just trying to be in this triple bush, and the bottom tower is falling very, very fast. Not sure what the response should be here from TSM. Maybe they should just have been setting up dives the entire time on this Rumble. Like if they were pressuring Rumble this entire time, then they could have burned Flash and they could have just created something top. But you know, if Svenskeren is bottom and they're not defending the tower, he's definitely in the wrong place, right? Because there's no equalizing play for TSM. They're not doing anything to actually equalize the map. Maybe he should have pressured through mid lane, because I feel like with Rise, they could have definitely set up some ganks here on the Jace and pressure through mid lane. And Svenskeren has been very inactive. While the laners have done a good job, I feel like maybe Svenskeren could have done a little bit more. And Conti did pressure bottom, and he played into bottom this entire time and actually accomplished something. Maybe the play for Svenskeren should have been that he played through mid lane, got pink wards through mid lane, and then they just tried to catch this Jace with the Jarvan and the root from of course Rise. Yumu's Ghostblade is a massive spike though for Jace, and seems to have shifted the matchup in favor of Jace. It's going to cancel that base from Bjergsen. Jan and Caitlyn rushing towards top side. Rumble will base and catch bottom. And TSM will just have to match here. They'll just have to match, and it isn't the greatest situation for them. I think the wave bottom is quite even. It looks a little bit as if it's in favor for World Elite, but it won't matter, right? Because Rumble's just going to walk down there and push the wave. The big thing here is that Choga is top right, but Rumble is going to push out bottom and he's going to have priority. So this will be a good time for World Elite to make a play. If anything, if World Elite push out bottom and then Choga is going to catch bottom, then maybe Rumble can follow. He can roam into mid lane, and then maybe World Elite could do the same, roam into mid lane. But World Elite is just happy hitting away at these turrets as well. Condi's just standing there in the bush and just waiting for his team to do work, and it seems to work. It's the word like 5 times in that sentence. Ooh, Zaya's hitting those EQs. And all of a sudden we see this massive change in the matchup. I was expecting World Elite to rotate into mid lane together with the champs here, but they don't need to. They just don't need to. It's enough with Jace hitting all these EQs, and now we know. Now we know why the game time is so small. The turrets are all falling, man. The turrets are all falling, and TSM don't know how to deal with it. And to be honest, what can they really do? You know, it's like in this with the Caitlyn and Janna. You know, they are pushing the turret. The bottom tower is very low. Condi played into it very well. Svenskinen was very inactive. He didn't create any pressure anywhere. He didn't dedicate his time into anything. He was just farming away, and I think that's quite disappointing. And then Rumble pushed out the bottom wave. He was in time there first. Choga was staying top. He pushed that wave, rotated into mid lane. Choga was stuck in bottom, and TSM was just getting destroyed. Something that TSM could have done was potentially they could have warded behind the Caitlyn, behind the Janna, and then potentially set up some kind of TP play with Haunter. But we saw this once. I think it was Khan that did it. I don't remember who exactly did it, but when they expect a lane swap situation, they just ward in the bush. Bjergsen needing to flash there. World Elite, plain and simple, rotated from Rumble into the mid lane. Very beautifully done, and World Elite are now at 3 tower advantage. Yeah, it's crazy how Jace, when he's pushing, when he's able to push, then his strength is really, really high. I need to ask Nuktak exactly how this matchup goes, and then I can maybe share some information with you guys. It's interesting though, but according to this game, Ryze seemed to do quite fine early game, and then we had the armor penetration, lethality base, and then after Jace had priority on one wave, it seemed like the EQs just kept landing, and then Jace having like a better position on the wave helped him a lot, together with the vision on both sides that they had to make sure that Svenskinen didn't create anything. Then I feel like maybe Svenskinen should have just broken the fact that, Jace was in such a good position in mid lane. Holy, what is happening to TSM? Okay. So, World Elite are faking the base here. Faking the base, and Double Lift is just staying to catch a wave, and then he gets smashed in half. Okay. I'm struggling to realize now what the play is for World Elite, because they are just... I mean, the play for TSM is because they're just weaker at every turn. Like, they're just weaker at every turn. So how do they actually get pressure in this game? At this point in time, I don't think... I can't think of a way. Like, World Elite is just taking every turret, because Zia, the World Elite mid laner is also pressuring Bjergsen, and the Janna Kate lane is also doing a lot of work here. No Hurricane bind yet on Double Lift. I didn't pay attention to who got Ardent Sensor first, but I can imagine that Ben did because of all the money. I'm not too sure if the timing mattered, but it's not like they could have won any harder than they already did. World Elite are just walking up top lane again, and World Elite can delay this push bottom. Like if TSM for some reason go for the bottom tower, then they can just rumble the wave and it's all good. Like we can see Or as soon as he's gonna use it, it's all gonna be all good. Or he's gonna save it for next wave. Smart, save it for next wave because there's a cannon wave coming up, right? So he's gonna barbecue the next wave and it's gonna be all good. Alright, this is an early, premature barbecue, but it doesn't seem to matter because they're basing anyway. Rumble just piecing it, man. But it's definitely a bad barbecue. This is where you undercook your chicken, you know, and not that good. I want to say undercook your beef, but then it's like that is common. People like that flavor. I do too. I eat my steak medium rare. Will lead to just playing the siege game, and TSM just have to look for some desperate engage. There's nothing else to do, to be honest. Like at this point in time, it just becomes more and more difficult because they are weaker and weaker as time goes, and I don't think they will have any better opportunity. And it looks like TSM is gonna get perfect gamed. They're gonna get perfect gamed, man. They're gonna get perfect gamed. Holy moly, gotta get perfect gamed. Will they lose in 17 minutes? The Rooftop just punching in on the base. That could be fucking funny, man. Nah, it's too soon. It's too soon. Like TSM is all alive. This Rift Herald was garbage. Like, why did he use this Rift Herald? But inhibitor at 18 minutes, you know, why not? Yeah, it's getting hard now to get excited about this game, knowing that the game time is so low. Like, if TSM are supposed to win this game, then you know they have to. Stall this out for another 30 minutes maybe. But this is crazy. This is crazy. It was interesting how this matchup in mid lane suddenly just shifted. Like some EQs landed and all of a sudden Bjergsen was just under his turret for the rest of that duration. And Svenskeren, I think the main issue here was that TSM, I feel like they could have created something through mid lane. 2v2 through mid lane, but they just never did. They could have also created something top, but they just never did. And instead Bjergsen was just pathing into bottom, which I think was wrong. He should have pathed into top side, and it would have looked like a different scenario. But it's not a perfect game, you know. TSM can be proud of the fact that they have a Mountain Drake. I really feel like the main issue is that they had pressure in top, they had pressure in mid lane during some duration of the game, and then, you know, TSM, holy moly, they're getting smashed. Holy moly, TSM, you gotta shake this off, TSM. This is just one game. Shake this off, man. Shake this off. Oof. You just need to, you know, back in the old days when there were no coaches, then what you did on stage at this point in time is like, think about the next draft. Think about the next draft. What do we draft, guys? What do we change in our draft? You use this time on stage to think about other things, you know. But crazy stuff. Crazy shit, man. This is absolutely bonkerinos. Really interesting. Like this Jace Rumble combo is This combo is quite classic. Bjergsen secures the red buff somehow. Kondi has no flash button. This combo is quite classic, you know, with the Jace, the Rumble, to have some mixed penetration damage here, and it's quite effective 20 minutes into the game, you know. This is where they spike the hardest. No social issues on Rumble though, so it's going to be a bit less, but these super creeps are going to do a lot of work. The Hurricane is going to be fine to clear those, but it's still going to take a lot of time to kill any creeps, and holy moly. Oh, the barbecue. Okay, 1-for-1. Roots are landing. Hans is quite tanky though, but I feel like World League can just continue. They're not taking a lot of damage here. Next wave is coming up. The super creeps are also stacking, so TSM needs to deal with this. Ooh, the EQ to clear the bottom wave. I mean the mid wave. Juicy from Xayah. That's a multifunctional play there. Hansen just walking in, doesn't do a lot of damage, doesn't even have feast. Bjergsen now out of position. Maybe Xayah can just Q onto him. Oh, Mystic flash in with the crit. Kills Bjergsen. Triple inhib down at 22 minutes. Boom, pow, click, clack. World Elite are just in such a juicy state, and they're just pinging Nasher because TSM can't walk out of base. They can't walk out of base at all, man. They have super creeps coming from every corner. You know, they could just, you know, this is the point in time, you know, you walk into your home, you open your wardrobe, super creep. You open under your bed, super creep. You open your shower drapes, super creep. So there's super creeps all over the plate, all over the place. And TSM, I just have to blame the inactivity of Svenskeren. You know, draft-wise, we knew that World Elite have a very strong early game. And I feel like lane-wise that TSM did good enough. And then Svenskeren just needed to path into top side. Him pathing into bot side, starting red buff and pathing into bot side, I think this was a massive mistake. I think if he pathed into top side and started to pressure the Rumble early on, they could have burnt his summoners, they could have lined him up for having like the Jarvan ultimate ready for Rumble and then just kept trying to kill him. And that would be like a win condition for them. And then World Elite would just try to chip away at the bottom tower, and that would also be like a situation that you would be put in. Doublelift is trying to do as much damage as can with this Twitch, but it's just not enough to carry the game. And Mystic does fall though, but all these super creeps with Baroned up is just gonna be like the game is over. So the main issue here I feel for TSM is like they try to do the defensive play a bit too often into bottom, and it didn't lead to anything. It just didn't lead to anything. I feel like TSM could have also potentially played through mid lane. They could have played through mid lane and lined some ganks up for this Jace and pressure him, and then Bjergsen could maybe move more freely and not be stuck under his turret for a long period of time and get EQ'd under the tower. That was like a big problem, right? Like the moment Ryze was under this tower, he started getting hit by EQs, which of course is difficult to dodge, like if you don't have any creeps to hide behind. It seemed to shift very hard when Jace had Yumu's Ghostblade, but I think the main reason is that he had priority on the wave and Ryze needed to be scared about Sejuani being behind him. Even though he has cleanse, maybe Bjergsen could have risked it a little bit, but Jace seemed to have priority once and kept priority for the remainder of the time and just kept EQing the Ryze. World Elite secured the bottom tower, Svenskeren didn't equalize anywhere on the map, and World Elite then swapped. Rumble pushed bottom, Rumble swapped into mid lane, got the first mid lane tower, where the Elite kept pushing top. They got the top turret, and then during this time, Condi also secured the Rift Herald, and then World Elite just hid in the bush, got the first blood on Doublelift, killed Doublelift, and then they pushed the second tower, then they sieged together in mid lane, and then they sieged together in mid lane, caught Svenskeren, they used Rift Herald, pushed all the way to the inhib, took the inhib, went into bottom, pushed bottom, and it was just a crazy line of play here where World Elite snowballed a lead so freaking hard. And then, you know, all I feel is Svenskeren took the wrong decision when it came to pathing, and I think draft-wise, you know, World Elite definitely, you know, when TSM decided to ban Kog'Maw, I think they fucked up. I think they fucked up big time. It was so clear that World Elite would just first pick Janna there with the Rakan ban. First pick Janna. With the Rakan ban, there's no good support, no OP support left to play with Xayah. The reason, I asked Upset about this, the reason people don't play Xayah Lulu is that Lulu is better with the longer range 80s and Xayah doesn't have that long of a range. So you just prefer to play Lulu with Tristana and Twitch and Kog'Maw. But all in all here, like Twitch just stuck under his turret, and Svenskeren, I just feel like they needed to try to equalize by playing to top lane. I feel like if you're just trying to save bottom, and the enemy team is slowly just gonna win and push you in and win, and there's no actual counterplay, I think it's really bad. I think it's just a bad situation that you set yourself up for. And I feel like there was a redeeming fact in the fact that Bjergsen was holding on to mid lane until he started getting destroyed by these EQs, hitting his face. And then Haunter was having a CS elite top. Even though we didn't have the camera up top that much, you know, I still feel like Svenskeren path into top side. He could actually create something and make something happen. And then, you know, maybe the game would look different. World Elite had like this early game composition that really paid off because 24 minutes in the game is over. All in all, I think I'm going to use the LoL events VODs app so I don't see the game time because it is a massive indicator for how the game goes. And if the VOD is 43 minutes long, then I know that the game is going to be short, quick, and, it's just going to be like, it's going to be, it's going to be very fast. So I'll see you guys in the next game. This is freaking exciting. This is crazy.